This right here gonna be a cakewalk.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. The Japan Fighting Game Publishers Roundtable event has just concluded, and I want to do a quick breakdown of everything that happened. The event was about 3 hours long, I think 3 hours 30 minutes. So I'm just going to break down each section and just talk about what was discussed, what was revealed, and I think this third roundtable, by far was the best one in terms of entertainment. I know the past two, people were saying it was boring, falling asleep, all kind of stuff, but this one was way more entertaining and exciting to see. I'm happy I watched it live. Talking about what was discussed, the first segment in here, they did an hour and 30-minute portion of the event, and they were discussing topics. Just, you know how they do, they talk about netcode and all this stuff. So I took some notes of the most important things, and I'm going to read it to you because some of it is very interesting. Sega, Harada, and the other devs say they want to do a fourth roundtable, and at the fourth one they would like for fans to be able to come and watch live and possibly even ask questions in person. They aren't promising that, but they said that is something that they want to try to do eventually. The next thing they were talking about, this one is free to play. Harada made some really good points, and I do want to quickly read through my notes. The basis of the game is free and everyone pays for DLC, right? So the free game, you don't pay 60 bucks, 70 bucks, you don't pay anything. You just get the game for free, and then you pay, you support the developers by paying for DLC, paying for season passes. Now, when they said this, it instantly clicked in my mind. The DLC is so successful in these fighting games to where now it's more profitable to just let people get the game for free and then buy DLC characters later on. We know this with Leroy Smith, Fakamram, Lita, just even Luke, other different type of DLC characters. It's very, very profitable, and some of these companies are thinking about going free to play. I don't think Tekken 8 will be free to play, but depending on how some of these other games do, Tekken 9 might be free to play. Harada says going free to play gets a bunch of free marketing. So when you do decide to switch to free to play, everyone's going to talk about it and everyone's going to celebrate it, right? Also, something Harada said, he says Project L will be free to play. And depending on how successful that game is, it can completely change the fighting game genre. So that puts even more pressure, and I would say more potential on Project L's shoulders. So much discussions about this game, and we only seen a little bit. It can reshape the entire fighting game genre, is what Harada said. The next portion, they were talking about subscription services. Harada was against it. All of the developers were kind of against it. There was some people in there who was like, oh, it may be a good idea, but everyone was really against it. The next part, they were talking about the difference between 2D and 3D. The main points here, it's easier to make 2D games. That's why a lot of indie developers make 2D instead of 3D. Harada said 2D developers doesn't want to make 3D because of the headaches. The cost jumps super. The marketing, the budget rises exponentially when you're doing 3D. So that's why so many fighting games stick to 2D. And also, if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? If it isn't broken, don't try to fix it or change it. We don't want Street Fighter 6 to be a 3D game. Just keep Street Fighter 6 what it's been. You know, just keep doing what you're doing and just polish it every once in a while. Guilty Gear Strive devs said they are working on some 3D aspects for the next game. Michael Murray said that Geese was mostly captured by hand and not mocap. He also said mocap is more efficient than by hand. So Geese Howard was a real pain for them in the development process, and that's because they couldn't do mocap. They had to create all of his moves digitally by hand, and the ones that you can create mocap is what he preferred to do. And we see this with the DLC. Leroy Smith, Fakamram, Lita, those characters were done with mocap, right? Most of their moves. Next up, the Street Fighter 6 dev, when asked about 3D, he said he doesn't really even care about it because would people even want it, right? Why do something that no one really cares about? Yes, people want Tekken Cross Street Fighter, but that's not really his problem. what he focuses on is Street Fighter 6, right? So Tekken Cross Street Fighter, not his problem. Now the second portion of the video, this one was really entertaining. The developers, they showed rare treasures from around their offices. Some people showed personal items, but I think what was shown here was really incredible. By far the thing that stole the show, Harada pulled out some old scrapped character designs and he was showing them off. The one that really stuck out, and I seen the whole chat was like going off about, was the Walrus Man. I seen a bunch of people doing hashtag Walrus Man, and out of all of these, I think the Walrus Man is the best.
Everyone's gonna hit you up on Twitter now, like, where's Walrus Man DLC?
But I don't think they're gonna do this because they want to be showing concepts that they're working on, right? If the community, if this really turned into a meme trending on Twitter, hashtag Walrus Man, then maybe we can talk about it. But other than that, I don't think so. Street Fighter, they showed off the original script of the Street Fighter anime, super iconic. There were some other things that was happening. You guys will be able to see that in the background. But getting into the announcements portion of the video, King of Fighters, they announced a new trailer. I uploaded that to the channel. You guys can see it. When it comes to Tekken, however, they did not announce Tekken 8, but I kind of knew this was not going to happen. Leading up to this Roundtable Publishers event, Michael Murray, Harada, and Tekken, the official Tekken Twitter, did not acknowledge the Roundtable fighting event. Usually, you know, when you're talking about the Roundtable 1 and Roundtable 2, like a week before, they put out a tweet saying, you guys might want to watch this, you might want to check this out. This time around, they did not do that. That was the first red flag as to Tekken 8 not being shown here. The second one that I thought was a real big red flag of Tekken 8 not being shown here was the Tekken series on Netflix. That was a really big announcement. I thought we were going to get more information about that here, but they really didn't say too much about it. Other than, I have a tweet here from Michael Murray. Super excited, something I've been working on for some time. Has finally been announced. Hope you enjoyed the teaser. Now, Michael Murray was talking a lot about being in meetings and talking to people and working very hard. So not only are they working on Tekken 8, but they were working on this. We could kind of see all of the hard work they're putting in, you know, coming to life. One thing that I do like about this, I really respect Harada for what he said and also for going up here. He went to this roundtable event knowing that he did not have anything, and he did his best, one, to not get everyone's hopes up, not give a false sense of hope. But what he said, I appreciate. He said, we do not have anything to show right now. Timing is everything. Timing is very important, and you know, now it's not the time, basically. And to me, I got from that was E3. I think E3 is where they're going to announce Tekken 8. I talked about it already, but that's another red flag why I wasn't expecting them to announce Tekken 8 here. It just doesn't seem right for them to announce Tekken 8 here alongside all of the other developers.
I know a lot of people are really excited. They're looking forward to the big announcements. I want to just say that's not that kind of show. Let's get out of the way.
You want to announce Tekken 8 on its own isolated island, because here's the thing, if you announce Tekken 8 at this event, you're unintentionally giving all of the other developers publicity, right? Something else that I thought was very interesting too, as the live stream was going on, as we got closer to the announcement, Bandai Namco Esports was in the chat. 3 comments that I thought was interesting. Responding to someone, they say, you're here for a once a year, barely publicized talk between publishers expecting announcements. That's wild. And this right here told me no Tekken 8. This almost sounds like they're talking trash about their own event. You're here for a once a year, barely publicized talk between publishers expecting announcements. That basically says this is not a big enough platform for Tekken 8 to be announced. The main stream had 5,000 people watching. The English stream had about 2,000. I looked at Mayman Sui Twitch. He was one of the only Tekken streamers streaming. He had like 700. So really is not the best time to announce Tekken 8. Another comment from Neil says, most of the announcements happened this weekend already. I hear every time you ask for an announcement, they delay it by a year. The final one, this one is about the next announcement we're going to talk about, Sirlin Rollback 2. Now, this is kind of a meme. The Akira developers, they showed this screenshot and they were talking about how they're working on the next generation of rollback. And everyone was kind of memeing and kind of baffled by it. The next generation of rollback, everyone was calling it Rollback 2 because they already have good internet. So what is the next generation of that going to look like? Talking about Guilty Gear Strive, they showed off their season pass, additional playable characters, 5 total, additional battle stages, 2, Guilty Gear Strive, additional color pack, and another story. They said the story is still coming, even though it's taking some time. They haven't forgot, they haven't given up, they're still working on it. When it comes to King of Fighters, like I said, I already put the trailer up, you guys can go watch that. But they did show off this tweet that was, well, it was a tweet, but they cropped out Harada's thing. They got permission from Harada to show this during the stream. But it's just a comparison between King of Fighters and Tekken 3. On the left, the King of Fighters, it says you're 10 years too early. And then Tekken, on their side, it says you're 1 year too late. And the 1 year too late basically is saying Tekken came out a year ago. You think anyone's gonna buy your game, after Tekken came out? And that was kind of just like a friendly rivalry between these two. And it was just cool to see the nod to what was taking place back in 2001. When it comes to Street Fighter 6, no announcements, of course. They already said they'll say something in summer. The guy basically was saying they're working on it, they're trying to get it polished, and they're working on it. Nothing happening right now. To wrap off this video, I have a few more notes here. Some of this is about the Netflix series that we got a sneak peek of. The Netflix show is confirmed to be a prequel to Tekken 3. So we were wondering the time span of this, but it's a prequel to Tekken 3 is what they said. That was the exact words from Michael Murray. Michael Murray also confirmed Tekken 7 has sold more than Tekken 3. So I believe now Tekken 7 is we already knew it was the most popular in terms of players, in terms of sales, in terms of DLC, but now it's official. Sold more than Tekken 3. And that was pretty much it. That was everything that was announced here. Even though it doesn't seem like much, I really enjoyed it. Maybe I enjoyed it because I knew, I had a gut feeling Tekken 8 wasn't going to be there. Street Fighter 6 wasn't going to be talked about. So I really wasn't expecting anything. So maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much. But I definitely did enjoy it. And that's just my little recap of everything that happened for those who missed it or maybe forgot, wasn't paying attention, whatever. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.